So I'm still not going to let you guys in on the secret yet. I haven't seen anybody do what I want to do to this in a demolition derby before, and I really hope it's going to kind of help. I've seen it done in race cars and stuff like that, but I don't think as cheaply as I'm going to do it. But today, we're going to go do something else. We're going to put a gas tank in this. I'm going to have a little bit of problems trying to fit the gas tank because of the cage right now, so I might have to go with one of my smaller tanks, and that's something I really don't want to do. But if I have to do it, I have to do it. I'd like to get a battery box in here. I'd like to get my fuel lines in here, my fuel pressure regulator, everything hooked up to the engine, all that fun stuff. So there's quite a bit of little things that we have to do today to get this thing kind of up and running. So, unfortunately, I don't really have stuff just sitting around because I kind of keep lending all my stuff out to people and never getting it back. So what we've done is we've come out to this Solera, which I've built over the winter, because I don't think I'm going to be running it anytime soon. And what we're going to end up taking is we're going to end up taking that steering wheel, and we've already took the fuel pressure regulator out of it and all the lines and the gas tank. So before I forget, well, I guess we need this drill out of it too. But before I forget, let's take the steering wheel out. That'll hit the camera, that's okay. Alright, let's go get all this stuff loaded on that Cushman. Well, now what we're starting to do is we're starting to work on the inside of this thing. And I've lost a lot of weight in the last 2 weeks, but I'm still having a hard time fitting through there. And I'm pretty much just going to be getting in and out of this thing with gas tank, with clamps, with brackets, with fuel pressure regulators, with battery boxes, all that fun stuff. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to throw this steering wheel on. I still haven't ran this in a derby yet. I bought this when I was down at Blizzard Bash. So we're going to throw this on, we're going to throw some tires onto it, we're going to hook it to the Cushman, and we're going to pull it ahead so I can actually open the damn doors. Well, yesterday I pulled this thing forward, and I found some problems. Problem number one, I think my spindle I put in is bent because the tire's hitting the strut. So I have to find another spindle! I should really be throwing out all these bent spindles. We got the V6 motor mount put into this because we were running the different transmission. We got the upper motor mount put in. Not sure if they're going to let me run that. We'll have to see. I might have to cut it there. I don't know. Only time will tell. We got an alternator belt on. We got the starter wired in. We got the alternator wired in. We got the power switch for the alternator wired in. We got the transmission cooler in. So I'd like to see if this thing runs. Just let me hook everything up. So we got all the powers hooked up. So there's my computer, alternator. I'm not going to be really doing that yet. I'm going to also run something else off that. Fuel pump. Okay, I'm not seeing no leaks. We got 40 PSI. Beautiful. And then this one here is my starter. Are we in park? Yeah, we're in park. Oh, that was nice. That was very nice. Uh-oh. What's this? Look at this. What is that? Stop it! Fuel, computer. We have a transmission leak there. So all that effort I put into this transmission cooler is kind of null and void. Shit! Do I have another one of these? I don't know. Do I have another one of those? Hey Harley, how are you? I don't think I have that exact same transmission cooler. I got my long skinny one, which I actually think is Stevens. I got this one, which isn't that like that one. I got this one, which isn't like that one. Oh no. What's this one? No, it's a fuel pump. No, you're different too. I put all that money into that transmission cooler. Do I not have another transmission cooler like that? Oh, this makes me angry. I think I got about 40 bucks into that thing in about 3 hours. Do I have another one of those? Why is it leaking? That's stupid. Here's another transmission cooler. No, transmission cooler. No, 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 I'm not seeing another one. Adam Halbert, come pick up your damn roof sign. It's been here for 4 years. Like, come pick this stuff up. Well, it looks like I got to take all that transmission cooler back apart because it doesn't look like I have another one that's going to work there. Yeah, I don't think I have another one. What's this one? No, that's just an Amazon one. It would have probably worked, but I've already used it inside this truck. Well, that sucks. That really sucks. All that effort I have into this transmission cooler, and it's not even going to work for me. Well, I guess let's remove this transmission cooler and find a different one, apparently. But it runs. That's a good sign. It runs. It sounds good. We still haven't changed the wires. I didn't think the wires were the issue, guys, and it turns out it wasn't. It was probably the coil packs, and it was probably the spark plugs. This thing here kind of had a really hard time starting before, so that was kind of nice just to hear it fire right up like that. But I still have something spicy to put on this. I've been like teasing about it for a couple weeks. Sorry, for a couple videos, and I just haven't done it yet, but I think today's the day. If I got to take this transmission cooler out, I think today's the day. Kind of sucks. Like, I was kind of hoping that this thing would be okay, but I can't go into a derby with it leaking ATF on me like that. Especially with it just idling. No, no thank you. No. So let's pull this thing out, pull this transmission cooler out, take off the lines, and see what we can find for something else to replace it, and go from there. Well, that's the only transmission cooler I have that will fit those lines. It's like a quarter the size. It works, not overly happy about it, but it works. I'm probably going to mount a fan on it now. I do have a fan up on my shelf up there. So the fan's just going to make that transmission cooler actually work. With this bigger one, I wasn't going to mount a fan because it just draws more electricity that I might not actually have. So with the bigger one, I wouldn't have needed the fan, but with the smaller one, I'm going to put a fan. So I guess let's start this up and see if this thing leaks. ATF everywhere. On. This one doesn't look like it's leaking. I don't have a whole lot of ATF in this, and I don't have any up there on my shelf. That's mostly just coolant. So we'll have to go buy some ATF for it. But are you guys ready for the surprise? I think I'm ready for the surprise. I've been wanting to put this on here for quite some time. This is what I'm going to put on. You guys can't tell what it is it? Well, it starts here, and it goes this way, and it goes up into there. And that's what you're going to get, so hold on. Can you guys see it now? It goes from there, and it loops this way. Comes through where the factory AC lines go through, where all my other fun stuff goes through. And then it goes to this very large oil cooler here on the floor. Now, I have it hooked up with the alternator, so the fans only come on when the alternator's on. And if you guys know what this is an engine oil cooler. Now, I actually bought this almost 3 years ago, because when I bought this, I installed it in this car, and I've never driven this car. I've never derbied this car. This car's been sitting here for 3 years, all because of a rule change and the fact that I cut that shorter. I can't run this in stock class. It has to be Pro Mod, and it's just way too much for me to build a Pro Mod here in Ontario. But, yeah, so this is an oil cooler. Now, there is no rules around me about engine oil coolers. There's thousands of rules about engine transmission coolers. So I've been wanting to run this for 3 years because it's going to break the rules, is why I've been wanting to run it. You know, it's a real honor to have rules that are basically written because of you, and I was hoping that this would have been that thing.
I have all 3,000 PSI fittings for this, which it's going to be nowhere near that. I think I'm going to be running like maybe 60, maybe 40. Now I still have to change some stuff over. I have an oil pressure sensor here. So we're going to be taking this out of this car and we're going to be putting it in this one. We're going to be mounting it on the dash. We're also going to be mounting a digital voltmeter that I haven't even bought yet. So we have to get on that. And I'm going to be buying a new battery for this, a transport truck battery. So there's still lots of stuff that we have to do for this. The wiring looks a little shitty right now. I will clean it up a bit. Not a whole lot, just a bit though. But honestly guys, I've been wanting to run this cooler now for 3 years. So my theory is that these Toyota motors run great. They run great hot, they run great cold, but when they get really hot, they seize up. Putting a transmission cooler on these things makes these transmissions last so much more. So why not try to put a cooler on the engine? By running an engine oil cooler, I'm able to cool the motor oil before it gets back to it, and it's going to kind of help keep the engine running. Not only that, it gives me an extra... I'm going to say an extra 2 liters. That's like 2/3 of a gallon. Not 2/3. Yeah, that's 2/3 of a gallon extra oil. So more oil means more cooling, more. Well, there's going to be no filtration now because I don't have an oil filter. I could have put an oil filter in this, but honestly, guys, I'm not super worried about it. I'm going to change the oil before the Derby. Before this car even starts again, I'm going to change the oil so that it's clean oil pumped all the way through it. I'm going to be taking out the oil pressure sensor, putting the oil pressure sensor from, well, I'm going to be putting this sensor back in, but I'm also going to put the pressure gauge into it. So let's get that going. And then, yeah, guys, I've been wanting to run this for a lot of years. So let's get this finished up so you guys can see what it looks like. So we got the remote on, you guys have seen that, but now we got the oil pressure sensor in. I still have to put this thing back on, so don't worry about that. That will go on here in a few seconds. I just want to bleed this line and get all the air out of it. So what do I need? I need a 10 mil wrench. We're going to start this thing up. We're going to bleed the oil pressure line, and then we're going to see how much oil pressure this motor makes. Because if you guys remember, this one here had a bad oil pressure seal and I replaced it. So I'd really like to make it maybe 40, and anything over 40 and I'd be pretty ecstatic. So fuel, power, start. Oh, here we go. Ah! 40. I'm going to say that's 45. Okay, let's bleed the... I'm just going to take the line off the back and bleed out all the air, and then I'll put this back on there. I got all the air out. She's still above 40. I'm happy with that at idle. Nice. This thing's starting to sound good. We have oil in the cooler. It looks like we're burning some stuff off this header. What are we burning off? Water, condensation, not too sure. I think the alternator's charging. Turn on the fans. Oh no, I turned off the fuel, jeez. There, I got the fan on. Let's get out the voltage regulator. Where are you, Mr. Voltage Regulator? We can see if the alternator's working. Damn, that fan is loud. Last time I went to Mini Meltdown, I had a really nice transmission cooler, but it's inside of another car. Oh, I hooked that up backwards. Jeez. I'm looking for 14 volts. Oh. I don't think that alternator's charging. Oh, let's see this. If I turn you off. Yeah, that alternator's not charging. Do I have it hooked up? Yeah, I have it hooked up. I guess I gotta put a different alternator on it. Fuel, alternator, stop. But with that big oil cooler, it's drained almost all the engine oil out of this thing. So we're gonna have to put some more into it. It looks like it's leaking, but it's not. It's just because I pulled out the old oil filter. I can wash that down with some degreaser to prove to you guys it's not leaking. But honestly, I've been wanting to put this this engine oil cooler on a car for 2 years now, and I've finally done it. So I'm kind of happy. Well, that voltage keeps going up, 13.6. That's a good battery. It's kind of small, but that's a good battery. That's one good battery. But yeah, not overly happy with the size of the transmission cooler, but it's what I have. Like to get a voltmeter on this, so I don't have to have that thing. I can just have like a run-of-the-mill voltmeter. I don't think I have any. I'll have to see if I can order one off Amazon and get it here. But yeah, this thing's coming along pretty good, and I'm super excited to actually try out my engine oil cooler in the ring. If it works, I'll let you guys know how it does. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you later here on Zach's Workshop.